When was the last time you felt completely immersed in a game? No rushing, no searching how long to beat for an idea of how much longer you have left. Just really enjoying your time with it and valuing what the game was offering. While churning away in No Man's Sky recently, I began to realize that I haven't felt that way about a game in a very, very long time. And it kind of made me think about why I play games in the first place. I used to play games to wind down, to relax, or get immersed in a game's world. But now it kind of felt like I was playing games to fill in the gap between feeling like I should be productive and being productive. So why did No Man's Sky give me this realization? No Man's Sky on the surface is a vast survival game that promises limitless space exploration. Starting from small beginnings, your scope in the game increases from your first landing site to far-flung solar systems. Along the way, you upgrade your suit, your tools, your ship, your bases, and you experience the many different forms of life that populate the uncountable planets. You feel small, like an outsider, completely surrounded by the unknown. At the start, each new unlock feels exciting. Each new upgrade feels rewarding, and every new discovery a chance to reveal a bit more behind the mystery of the universe and its inhabitants. Then, I hit a mid-game slump, which seems to happen with all survival games for me. Instead of making new discoveries, I became focused on maximizing the resources I could get my hands on to make the game easier. I slapped on some Netflix and started working away like a drone. I would just scour the landscape for the never-ending supply of buried technology that kept popping up just over the hill. I would leave giant craters on the planet's surface whenever I stumbled across a mineral deposit, and I would quickly click through every single dialogue pop-up just to get back to the grind. I stopped caring about what I was seeing or doing and started focusing more on the result. Occasionally there'd be something cool pop up that would snap me out of this drone haze, but as quickly as I got snapped out, I'd get pulled back in whenever I stumbled across a new mineral deposit or a piece of technology. One day, I had a pretty rough day at work, and I thought I'd unwind by playing some No Man's Sky. I thought maybe the fantasy drone life would help me relax from the reality drone life. But that didn't happen. I found that I wasn't relaxing. I wasn't even having fun. I was stockpiling chromatic metal just in case I needed it later on, and all the while feeling fatigue. I researched how to get a new ship because I thought maybe that would freshen up my experience a bit, give me a new way to look at the galaxy. And it did for a little while, but the same old grind just came back. Instead of repeatedly sticking to known systems, I then began to try to explore more. But that brought with it its own grind. I'd warp to a system, visit the station to get the inventory slot upgrade or the multi-tool upgrade, scan planets for value, land on a planet, scan the flora and fauna, admire any weird RNG that was happening right where I landed, and then just leave. Then I'd go to the next system. As I started to notice these grind patterns, I began to not enjoy the game and really started feeling like my time could be better spent elsewhere. But it was at this moment that I realized I felt this exact way about so many games in recent memory. The more I simplified my time with the game to an outcome-based loop, continually adjusting based on how much outcome I was achieving, the less I was experiencing the actual game. I had a nanite farm, a surplus of all materials, and a means to generate stupid amounts of money if I needed it. The sheer vastness of the game, consolidated down to a rinse and repeat pattern for infinity, resulted in a feeling that everything was meaningless. While running around a station, I noticed a very trustworthy looking character stomping around. I talked to it and, to my surprise, the conversation was incredibly bleak, but mirrored what I was experiencing in the game. For whatever reason, this made me stop and think about the rut that I had carved out for myself, not only in No Man's Sky, but in so many games recently. I used to play games for enjoyment. I used to get that feeling of relaxation from gaming, even competitive games. But now it seemed like there was always this spectre of productivity looming behind me, which would step in and drain the colour from the experience. I then did something which sounds so simple and basic to do in a game, but something which I somehow continually lose the ability to do after several gaming sessions. I started to pay attention. I stopped brainlessly chasing buried technology markers on my scanner or jumping from system to system just to get slight upgrades, and I slowed down. I spent time looking around planets, not for resources or progression, but just for beautiful scenes. I began to enjoy seeing the creatures move around the landscapes or discovering strange environments. I would look up and take in the skyline of this alien planet and the occasional traveler who would jump into view and then speed off moments later. What originally started to feel like an immense sprint to a never reachable destination now felt like an enjoyable stroll. With this new mindful attitude, I decided that I wanted to feel more like a part of the storyline. So I started to play it, and I started to pay attention to the dialogue, what the characters were saying. And I got incredibly bummed out. So now I'm playing Bloons 6.